Hey guys, Kasura here. I know this video is a little late, but here's just a quick video on how to get the most out of your anniversary banners. You might have already heard from other people or discovered this tip yourself, so this is just for the people who don't know. And the footage in the background is just me using this tip to get myself a Fiona, Zeke, and a Leo Hall, as you will see. Also, later in this video, I'm just going to quickly go over who is the best free-to-play SSR in my opinion. But yeah, as you can see here, I'm going to go ahead and start summoning on the Zeke banner. This is just me using the free red nucleuses that you get. I think you get 15 of them. I'm going to go ahead and use that, build up the pity, and then go over to the banner that I actually want. I actually want a Fiona so that I can get A6 Fiona. As you can see here, I'm just going to keep on pulling until I get to 79 out of 80. Okay, I'm going to stop. And then I'm going to go over back to Zeke, who I want. And I'm going to pull once and pray to God that I get him. And I don't get him, which sucks. But don't worry, there's going to be a happy ending later on. So I go ahead and I just use up all the rest of my summons to get myself to 120 tokens. I buy myself the copy of Fiona. And there you have it. I have a A6 Fiona. I am very happy. So I decided to roll on Zeke, and now he's my priority, so I'm going to be rolling on his banner. In case I don't get him, I can just build up and buy him with flame gold. Again, I'm going to stop at 79 to 80 because I want to try my luck at Leo Hall, who I think is OP as 8-0. And thank God I win this 50-50 because I lost the previous 50-50 when I was trying to get Zeke. So now I'm just going to go all the way to 120 flame token to finally buy Zeke out. The reason why you pull like this is if you want multiple characters, and thankfully the newer characters are already so good at A0, you actually don't even need to worry about getting more copies of them, and this way you don't have to waste any of the flame token. So at the end of the day here, I am only going to waste one flame token, and that's just my one pull to get Liu Hua. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and talk about what I think are the best SSRs for free-to-plays, and I'm only talking about SSRs at one copy and maybe two copies, so just A0 or A1. But before I go over that, I do want to give you some insight into how Tower Fantasy works if you're not sure how the balancing system works. Pretty much 99% of the time, the newest character will be the strongest character in the game for that element. This is a way to entice you to roll for them, so you may have already heard from multiple people to focus on one element. And that is because Tower Fantasy also tries to make the newest characters of the same element work with each other. So as you can see, if you hyper focus on an element, you will continue to get stronger as you increase your team's synergy. If you roll for many different weapons of different elements, even though they may be the newest, you might not have the other elements or the other weapons in that element to synergize with it, and it actually might not turn out as strong as it could be. So that is why people tell you to stick to one element, which I don't really like about the balancing. It feels very limiting. Since team competitions can be so limiting, the best free-to-play characters as of 3.1 is Fiona, followed by Zeke very closely, and that is because they are very, very flexible. Fiona is a very special unit in that she is of the altered element, which takes on the highest elemental attack in your stats. This, along with her abilities, allows her to fit into almost any team comp. She is a support character that can pretty much do everything you want from a support, healing, buffing, all that stuff. She has like 7 different skills you can choose to equip. You can play her in a benediction comp if you want to support your team, or you can use her as a buffer for your own DPS comp. Her flexibility and her splash ability makes her currently, in my opinion, the best free-to-play character. Alright, I really want to talk about Zeke because I feel like he might be a future-proof character. Whoa, hot take. Let me go ahead and talk about something really quick. Tower Fantasy is starting to make characters work with other elements. As you can see, Zeke is a physical unit, but he also works with flame weapons with the flame resonance. So if this trend of double resonance continues, we might finally start to not be as limited in team compositions as before, which is amazing for free-to-play players. So Fiona may be the best character right now in my opinion. I feel like Zeke is almost right there with her. The thing that I feel like makes him future-proof is his execute ability. His execute ability kind of trivializes the game in my opinion. However, it does have its restrictions on not working on bosses, but think about it. Having an execute, you will never run into a problem with exploration, killing any of the overworld mobs, and exploration is a huge part of Tower Fantasy. As free-to-play players, sometimes you might struggle with fighting some of the overworld mobs, especially if you raise your world level very quickly. And a lot of times it can be a little frustrating if you're constantly asking people to come over to your world or come over to your area to help you fight off something. But if you have Zeke, you always have the option to execute the monsters you have to deal with. I know that there's a long cooldown for that, but just having that execute and not having to always rely on someone, I don't know, it just feels more comfortable to play, and it's kind of, you can play at your own pace. I just find it funny because they can for sure power creep Zeke's damage, but seeing them power creep Zeke's execute is going to be very interesting, because we already have Fiona who can execute at low health at A3, and then Zeke can execute at full health at A0. I know that's only 3 enemies. What are they going to do? Introduce another full health with no like limitations? You can just execute all your enemies? I feel like that kind of just ruins the game at that point, where you're just executing all the enemies. So I don't really know how they're going to power creep that without making it seem ridiculous. So those two are my top picks for the best free-to-play characters, Fiona and Zeke. As for the other characters, I will not rank them because it is very obvious. Again, the newest character of each element will always deal the most damage, so there is no point in ranking them, because if you just look at their release date, you will know how strong they are compared to each other. So right now, I don't really advise free-to-play players to roll for any of the single element characters, if you know what I mean. So Zeke has that double resonance. I would highly suggest you wait for Mimi to come out and see if she ends up having double resonance. She could possibly be like a Volt and Frost, and if she is, that is amazing news, because maybe in the future they'll continue to release more, and then again, your team compositions are going to have more flexibility and more diversity. But at the end of the day, you should still pull for characters that you like, or weapon playstyles that you like, because even though they may be strong, they might not fit your play style. I know it's obvious, but it's just a game, and it's important to play what you want and play how you want to play, so that you can enjoy the game more. Got it? All right. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.